And nobody died? Everybody alive? All right. Yes. All right. Now, so let's get back to what we were talking about. And this is something again, we're going to go through some examples. But how many of you guys did your homework? How many of you? Oh my God. Okay, lots of you did. All right, speed check. I'm going to do a speed check real quick, okay? So everybody pay attention. New guy. Good. SpongeBob, big guy. Okay. 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 Nice. That's a little out of left field, but that's good. Good. Also, you got delayed data, Chief. You need it all. All right. Let's see here. Low key Matt. Not bad. Yeah. Good channel. I think, right, that might be. Oh, that teeters on the edge because I almost see a box or would likely see a box here, right, and here. But I think for encapsulating range, you did a good job. Candle closes below the floor and you get your dump. Do you see that right there? Candle closes below the floor on where you should have bounced, where you tried to bounce, closes below the floor, you get the dump. Oh, yeah, everybody's homework. Mm, close. No channel, which there also is a channel right here, right there. And then up to the top here, you can see those three wicks kind of sideways. That would be the top of your channel. So make sure you throw that on there. I want you to squeeze that box down to the top and the bottom, because if anything, that's a range, right? Not a box. That would be more of a box. That would be more of a range. Now, you zoom down into a lower time frame, probably. All right. Damn, Spartan did his homework, dude. He's like Sheldon, loves it. Nice. I like the white and green. Do you like the Celtics? He likes. Oh no, he likes the Spartans. What the hell am I talking about? Um. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's a great box. Channel. I can't see where you started from, but the points of contact look good. Again, we're just doing simple. I just want to see that everybody's picking up on the what I'm putting down. All right, you're cutting through a lot. All right, I'd rather you give it those wicks. All right, I try not to cut points of contact off. Okay. I think you left your toolbar in front of your box. I just tried to move it. The box is here at the top of that red candle. Don't sweat yourselves though. I'm just looking. Just looking. Mm, no, not a box. Range, sure. Right? If you lose that floor, sure. But not a box. Okay? That is a range, but not a box. All right. Mercy. No mercy. Mm, yeah, kind of. That's a yeah. I mean, you did a good job encapsulating that range. So yes, we'll dive deeper into that. After what we learned tonight, I want a little bit more detail, right? Kind of like this one from our new person, Doc. So good points of contact. Nice job spotting that, right? It does look like there's a lot of wicks out of there, but it seems like you kind of nailed the body, the wick. So I like that. I can't see your comments right now, so hold on. Okay, this is your second chart. Yeah, I know there's a box on a lower time frame, but that's good. That's good. No, it's not actually. Bring that up, touch the wicks. Wicks are touching the same spot. But you'll notice, right, that the candle does move down to that candle close. So, all right, let's see here. Empress. Hmm. I think I would have smushed this box down, but your channel looks pretty good. Big Bear AI. Yeah, your channel looks good. I like that. Points of contact on both sides. Looks good. But I would have shrunk this box down or encapsulated this as its own range because that's obviously what you can't grab hold of. So not bad. Frontly chose the hardest stock in the damn world. Tesla. Tesla gets the 350, 360. I'm taking vacation. Um, so as far as the channel, I'm unsure of where you're starting that from. I think I could probably guess though. I actually don't know where you're starting that from. Is this on a lower time frame? No, it's 24-hour. So personally, right? Um, I don't know if I can draw an uptrend on that, right? Because one of the things I don't see are higher lows, except for maybe off of this. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one I would rather have seen, maybe something like that, or even that, right? Clearly, that has the most control right here. But that's also a tough stock, by the way, to try to box up on the 24-hour, especially. That's not a box. It's just not, right? So let me explain why. You got one bounce. You got two ceilings, but you got one bounce. You move down and you drop. That cannot be considered a box. Now, everything about it, right? The floor, still important. The median, still important, but it's not a box. All right, let's see here. Kroger. I like that. Good channel. Good touch. I like that you expanded all the way up. Yeah, that looks good. Three taps off the top, two off the bottom. Great box. I guess that has all the makings, but I would raise the top of your box up because you have multiple points of contact here off of those wicks that come off the same level. And yes, that is a box underneath you right there as well. That's good. Let me check. Did you guys say anything? No punchy backs. Okay, just checking. Where's Stop Loss Steve homework? Okay, there we go. All right, let's see here. Just checking this. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. And let's see here. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. Yes, good job. I like that you did that. I like that you did that. That's great. C barrel. Uh, good box. I like that you identified that there's consolidation within this wide range. So good job on that. Channel, I can't really see it all. So Russ, you also chose an incredibly hard stock. This box has already been punched through, but now I would have rather given it the floor, right? Because you're only coming off of one wick. So I'd rather give it where you have multiple points of contact or multiple holds. That being said, channels a little. So look, you're looking at I'm going to show you how I would do it. Actually, that's how I would do it, right? The whole thing, not just a little piece. Not this. Well, I don't like. Yeah, there might be a lower time frame downtrend, but that's something I want to see from you on the hourly, right? Or on the 2 hour, where you can start here and try to do something along those lines. However, I think that control might have already been lost. So a little bit of a difficult chart. So you made it harder on yourself. Let's see, what is this one? And you did Tesla too, so we definitely like it harder. Okay, pause. We'll look at this one. Okay, so a box that got put. Yeah, good job. So you did a good job on this one for sure. Maybe raise that box up just a tad right here to cover those candles, but other than that, a good punch back. Um, yeah, good punch back. Good box, good channel. I like this channel a whole lot better because you do have the points of contact along it, so that's good. All right, let's see here. What did we do? Amazon. Yeah, obviously very close, but you are kind of leave. Listen, you can't do that. Just one touch is not enough, right? You need more touches. You're a touchy person. You want lots of touches or candle closes here. All right. And that also up here is not a box. That would be your box. So you're encapsulating structure. Okay. All right. I do better when I multitask. All right. Let's see. UNH. So again, on that one, Aurora, it's not a box, right? Definitely a range, not a box. Let's see here. QQQ. Man, y'all are brave. Okay, so I'll accept that. Obviously, no boxes here, but you did show me the channel and your ability to spot points of contact. I like that. Good job. Ooh, lost. That looks good. Okay, now you did make it extremely hard on yourself. That is definitely not a Potter box, right? Definitely not. There's no the only listen, hold on. So you might be seeing things that are tipping you. You're like, hold on, right? Walk with me, right? Go to the cues, zoom out to the weekly, right? If you want that or you think you see something, do it here. Do it here. So what higher time frames do is they consolidate everything or they group things together so that way you can in the weekly chart and we're going to go through this in the future. The weekly chart is going to help you encapsulate and simplify your chart. Are we in range? Yes. Did we make the lows? Yes. What do we need to lose? Right? Hopefully, yes. But this and it's fuck oh man, it's so crazy, guys, that I mean, the fact that we're in here the way that we are, and now that this weekly candle's kind of moving down to the lows, but um yeah, you can draw lines in the sand or make definitive statements when you're on the weekly. So make your life a little bit easier, start on a higher time frame. Let's see here. Ain't no use, you gotta walk. Okay, so hold on. I'm about to correct right here, and hopefully this will help. Did you build a box, have a floor, and then lose it, and then punch back through said box? Or do you think that this built in here for a series of days and then dropped down one time and then popped? Right? So that would have been the box, right? That would have been your box or your range, right? These are two separate things. What is this trying to get? So now channel wise, I don't mind the channel at all. Obviously, lower time frame. You could probably probably clear that one up on a lower time frame. You know, like the 4 hour. Yeah, like that. Okay, so you guys are doing good. I mean, I you see. There you go, Sim. There you go. Yeah, you want that the whole thing. Very good. Yes, good points of contact. Good boxes. Right. Mark out your floors. Obviously, I didn't ask for that, but yeah, boxes. Same thing, kind of underneath you too. Okay, good job, Shane the plumber. You're working with what you got. I respect that. Don't cut things out. Okay. Hold on. Did you adjust it? I think you did. Yeah, you did. Okay. Oh, no, okay. So that's the 24 hour. That's the okay. So notice how much cleaner that 24-hour chart is. So yeah, good job on your box. That's also a box. That right there. But good job here. I I wouldn't leave anything out though. Right? You'll find that usually that it's better to not leave those points of contact out. All right. Almost done, guys. Wanted to make sure I check people's homework here. So one of the cool things, guys, about this class, and for you, those of you watching this back tomorrow, is I'm going to hopefully build you up, all right, through every single day of this week. And what I want to see from you is going to be, repetitive in some sort or in some sense, because I want by the end of this, like we did last time, right, to find a play, to find through you guys being able to identify channels, identify boxes, identify empty space, which are going to be your three most important things that you're looking for. By identifying those, we should be able to identify a good setup. And so by the end of this class, there's likely going to be a play that you guys have helped create that everybody can trade. No guarantees on that. I can't, again, we could have at the end of the class, the market's looking like shit, but the goal is by the end of this class that you'll not only be able to see what we're looking for, but act on it. So, right. Okay. So JM, no, right? Too high. If you're going to give it that box, give it that low, right? But give it that top right there. Yeah, you'll notice it comes back and touches cost basis and explodes off of it. Okay. And those of you guys who are charting on your phone, just going to throw this out there. You're going to have to get it. You're going to have to get some sort of laptop in the future to make charting easier for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be sticking to one play and one play only, which is fine. You can do it, but it's all right. Let's see. Bring it down. Points of contact. You did a good job though, right? You got that, but you need to bring that down, or you're not going to be you're going to be leaving that retest or stop loss out. So, La Boo Boo. Holy crap! I feel like I'm about to rave. So again, you made it harder on yourself. Is that a range? Yes. All right, that is a range. However, your yeah, I'll give you your channel. Channel looks good, but that right there, right? Definitively, yes, it has three off the top, two off the bottom, but it's more or less, and this is the same on a couple of different stocks, right? It's actually boxes within, right? So 24-hour time frame. I would say, if anything, right, you're probably looking, oof, not damn. Oh my God. I think some of you guys, some of these cats took AMD short. Might work out for them. Weekly candles looking real bearish here. Literally closed on the wick today. Um, All right. So, with that being said, right, the concepts would still, I think, remain the same. So, I'm not going to harp on you too much about that because you did what you're supposed to do. Um, but when you zoom down, it kind of falls apart in the same way. So, all right, let's see here. Rich's Fletcher. Very good. Very good. Yep. And you stopped at the 50% mark of that empty space. Nice. Good job. King. Okay. Okay. Good job. Now, hold on. What do you see here, King? What do you see here? Here and here. So, how should that look? Am I tripping here? Am I tripping? Why are my candles look so different here? Floor there. Okay. There. Huh. Trying to see where his, because that box right there is, okay, there we go. I see it now. All right. So, that. Right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that that, right, is not an equally important floor and probably most likely on a lower time frame. Yes, I would be correct. On a lower time frame, right? On a 4-hour time frame, that would be kind of a box. Um, it's a little chunky. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got a couple of different areas here where it lines up more with that higher time frame, but the candle closures are here. But as far as the 24 hours concerned, personally, just looking at this, this is the first established range, right? Pop, pop, drop. That establishes where the actual volume will be, which is not surprising because if you encapsulate that, you've got, and this is, hold on, so this is kind of a rare thing. We don't always get to see this. And when you do see it, yes, this is the kind of move that you're likely going to see when you punch through something like this. So take a mental picture of this. But oftentimes, where you build before the box breaks or before anything happens, before you lose your floor, you will consolidate around what has already been established as the 50% mark. This is a rare, rare setup. Um, but what this entails, right, is essentially firing two things at once. You got a lower time frame area of consolidation and then the wider area of consolidation. And because the volume is, this is actually a sign, right? And this is one of the things that I've seen before where I'm like, well, that's where definitely the volume is, right? That is definitely where the root of and so moving through that, right? However messy it may be, the price movement out of it is what you're really doing. And something like this, it's probably going to take a second. Stutter stepping, because you pop up to the top, pull back to that median, and then push off the floor. So, but otherwise, good job on that. So, okay, you're cutting out too much. Look, wick, wick, those line up. Pull that up. Okay, I don't want to see any more people cutting through their wicks. Okay, would you cut through your wick in real life? Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't cut through your wicks. All right, my fault. It was sucky quality on my phone. Elon hasn't sent. Oh no. Okay, good job. Yeah, good candle closes across the board. Good points of control. Great job. Great box. Yeah, great box. No, no, we can't do that. Right. So look, you got candle closes. You got a floor separate from where you're at, separate from this. Lily is what we would consider to be hot dog water. Now, the overhead pressure makes me feel that it is going to fall. But as far as boxes are concerned, you might be best here again on the weekly, or it might be easier to establish exactly where this is losing its control. And based off the points of contact that I can see, and you did, I only asked for the 24 hours, so I get it, right? But I'm just giving you an opportunity to see it here. But that would be the 1002 level, right? Would be where we'd want to see a candle close on the weekly. I will tell you, this is one heavy boy and does have a target of 961. And, the implications of having more empty space down there could give you a second target. So that might be a play for some of you guys who are in here to look at. It's just an opportunity where you have already had, and we're going to learn about this in more classes ahead of us, right? How many times do you need to offer buyers an opportunity to buy higher? It's the same concept of why I shorted the Qs and have kind of stayed short on the Qs. All right. That's okay. That's obviously been punched through already, but so good job. Yes. Good box. Range, not box, but good to encapsulate. And one thing I think you might miss here, right, is the floor, 3 taps, the ceiling, 1, 2, 3, 4 taps. So you're actually, yes, on a 24-hour time frame in a box on two separate boxes on the weekly, more than likely one. So you could just say quite simply that this range is more likely to break when you close outside or up against that cost basis, or you lose your floor. All right. All right, just a few more guys. Alex G. Stop track and let him. I mean, good job on that one. Obviously you're on your phone. That was kind of hard. I'm just gonna let you guys know. Do what you can to get a laptop. If that's all you can get, iPads skirt the edge. I get it, but if you can, right? Even if it's a used laptop and if you trade on your phone and your laptop, and the charting software is the only thing you have on it. If you can do that, it is an important thing. Okay, especially if you want to if you want to do anything more, you're probably gonna have to have it. So, all right, let's see here. Blue, good job, good channel, right? At least beginning. You got the mouth, you got the box. Yes, we talked about that one today. My Amazon has a great setup if the market can find a floor. Great setup. All right, it's here. I think that's a separate box down here, right? It's separated. You're breaking out and you're retesting it. Now, I like that. So that's the first green candle to your left, which we're going to talk about too as well. So that's literally what's separating you right here. And if that's the only thing that has to stop you, then you better get to moving here quick. But yeah, I would say maybe on the weekly time frame, you're probably looking at a box here, but you're, I would say you're more or less looking at this structure. Right? So be careful. This, however, right? That is a 24-hour time frame box. And yes, this is a great job. But you'll notice that listen, okay? Move up, build a box. Move down, you put in range. And you're not even really hitting the same floor, right? And this is a retest trying to break this box. So I would encapsulate that and encapsulate this with a box. Good job. Good job. Box looks good. Cost basis, obviously. Channel. Channel fails. Yeah, looks good. Candles are those some interesting colors. Very very jazzy. Mm, okay, so yes on the box, no on the channel. Your channel is going to start from your highs and go down this way. right? Not You're not trying to catch. Listen, that floor, this is a loss of control. What is this on? I Russell on what time frame? 24-hour. Going back to damn. Okay. So yeah, I this right here, that's your floor. You see it hold, and then it loses its floor. That's okay. You don't want to adjust it down to that floor. If you're coming from a downtrend, it's the top usually that you're focused on. Points of contact. So, all right, let's see here. Anna, not bad. Good box. I don't Obviously not over here, but over here for sure. Looks good. That looks good. No, that is not a box. Okay. This, I can see where you're building that channel. Yes. This is just a pop up failure and loss. There's no structure there. Right. Now, you will find actually in this example that your cost or what you perceive as your cost basis would actually react. It was the previous resistance, it was your retest. And so it actually would work. Funny enough, it would still actually work because if you took a trade over the floor, that would be your first target. So you'd make it work, I'm sure. Yeah. Uh, all right. Let's see here. Now, I'm big on attention to detail here. What's wrong with this? Just a little bit farther up, just on that candle bottom right here. See where that wick or that minus sign is sitting at? Right there. That's what you want that across. But otherwise, not bad. And I think on the 4 hour, you'd probably be able to see that. And then yes, channel looks good. That's how you build that. All right, there it is. So everybody's homework is done here. All right, let me see here. Yep, sorry, Potter. Could you double check my homework? I had plug example. Imagine you said that without context in a room. I can, yes. Let me see. Go on. Plug, 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 plug. There it is. Okay. Okay. So what do you see? What do you see wrong? What do you think you did wrong here? Yes, if it does clarify the cost basis, yes. So talk to me. What before I tell you, right? What do you think you did wrong here? What are we not encapsulating? What's not being considered here? Inflating the box with downwards? No. I think you are too wide, right? And you're missing the boxes. So let me walk you through this, okay? Again, it's about where those candles close. Where the hell did you take that? Oh, it's on the weekly. Okay, I was about to say that looks crazy. All right. So same chart, right? Let's do this together. So first of all, what and I haven't even taught you guys this, but we're gonna go over it anyway. A wide fluctuation in price does what, seniors? What does it create? A big wide fluctuation in price, a channel, right? A mouth or the start of a change in trend. And it usually begins with where that launches and where that closes or where that falls, right? Show you a mouth. I got somebody texting me right now in class, buddy. Um, all right. So large rip up, large rip down. So my instincts would tell me to do this, right? And the way that I would check it is I would see if as I build it up or run it up, if I see that control, right, play out. So that might be a start, right, to a potential channel. The whole so you do not want to be super aggressive, right? And I get that what we usually are looking at is from the highs down to the lows, right? But you got to look a little wider than that. In fact, now that I'm looking at this on this time frame, I'm fairly certain. Now I'm going to teach you guys a trick really quick. Watch this. See what I just did? Now watch this. We're double checking, right? Or we're building that channel based off of the lower time frame. Do you remember yesterday where I showed you that there's channels inside of channels, or there's lower time frame channels? If you look, right, same thing, same type of control up here that we established here. Now, let's get into your boxes, okay? Which I've never said to another man. Here, right? That would be a box or be more of a box, right? This would be preferably more of a box, right? This would be more of a box, which you did punch through. Okay, so when I look at your chart, you aren't, what is touching the top here? Nothing, right? What's touching the bottom here? I see your green candle, but you're not on that and you're not on this. So my focus is always on like that. Do you see that right there? That would be like one of the areas that I would encapsulate as a box. Not a wide, like if what you're doing right would be possibly or more than likely, on the weekly, which obviously it's ugly, ugly chart, but I would probably encapsulate it that way. So not a bad chart though. Just the boxes and channel needs to be less aggressive and more zoomed out. All right. Oh, beautiful. All right. Let's see. All right, there we go. Um, grab where struggle for control takes place. We don't want any part of that price action. Yes, yes, of course. And a lot of like this isn't a stock that I would, obviously this isn't my cup of tea. I don't when I don't see empty space, guys, and that's again, one of the things I had to learn the hard way is yes, I'm good at analysis in other places, and I'm, now that I've been doing this for a while, I can see things on stocks that I wouldn't even trade. But sticking to the anomaly, right? The thing that I found is where I focus, right? So if I don't see it, and I will pass up, you'll see. And what I don't want to do is like, stocks like this, a setup like this, right, could possibly squeeze, but that's the only way. And I can't front run that without, again, maybe I would have to be hunting on it. But again, I'm not going to hunt on it because it doesn't have my setup. And this is how again, I stay in this small, this is my discipline. That's how I've been able to stay in the game is by sticking to what works and what is clear, So, all right, now, like in here, plug down here into that little pocket of empty space, fire, right? Fire. But yeah, otherwise, this stock, they use it, good reaction from earn. Yeah, they do, I think, after earnings, though, isn't it? I don't think it's on earnings. Well, let me see. That one, yeah, it was the following day. Eh. Oh, you should hit the dumper. So it moved dead slap center in the between earnings. Kind of interesting, actually, how that I'm gonna have to study that. Damn, it pumped in between earnings again. Hold on a second. Did we just find an anomaly? I'm having deja vu right now. The middle. Wait, hold on. Now I'm for real having deja vu. That's kind of creeping me out. I feel like I had a dream about this when I was a kid or something. You guys were in my kid dreams. That's interesting. I would kind of look back at that. Seems like a lot of the earnings or a lot of these big pumps happen in between earnings. Never noticed that. That one does dump on earnings, but plug is a pump and dump. Yeah. Well, when stocks go to die, they turn into liquidity events. So, I mean, they just literally provide like the volume leaves, so then you inject volume, and then it drives volume. And because it's like one of those stocks that like people are sitting in forever, it's like people chase really bad on it. These are not stock. If it does not have empty space, ugh, gross. All right. So let's get rid of these 1,000 windows here. Good job, guys. I'm proud of everybody for just doing it. Okay, that's half of the battle here is just getting people to do it and to try it without judging themselves, being overcritical, which I get, but you're learning. All right. You don't skip any? Skip what? You didn't skip any? Skip any what? Was yours? Did you drop yours and I missed it? Maybe. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I might have. I might have. Okay, I see yours right here. Real quick. Sorry, I don't want to leave. I don't want to miss anybody. And I don't want to miss you. Point, point, point. Okay, good, good. Mm, yucky box. It's just yucky in general. It's not even really like that right there. See how like let me zoom in for you. Right? Do you see those candles right there? That's where I would more or less because you can see that it actually stops at that 50% mark. So it's separate, right? You guys are gonna get good at this. All right. Everybody's gonna get better at this. You probably feel like, damn, like I didn't even see that. I didn't start seeing this stuff until repetition. And I can tell you, anybody in here who has been in, any of the seniors, they'll tell you the same thing. It gets clearer and it gets clearer and it gets clearer. Um, and you learn to obviously gravitate towards the stocks that are clear. So, um, what's going on here? Hold on. So I can't really say. I mean, yeah, you did encapsulate the range for sure. I mean, it's dead in the water, and I would almost go as far to say, let me see here. PITX. Look at password. Damn, I said hour and a half. Here we are, 2 hour class again. I like it. You know what? I would just almost count that little dip right there as an anomaly. No, it would be there. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna correct that. That would be where you encapsulate price. That is where you would look to the upside. So yeah, no, I mean that's a good job for what it is. It's just a obviously flat stock. So all right. Not bad, not bad. Potter, you didn't check your DMs. I was supposed to give you $25 and I'd keep 25. I'm not sure what? How's that work? Follow it. What does? Okay. I think we're good to go. All right. So to recap here tonight, folks, and this will lead into your homework here. Um, tonight's lesson, right, is on candle closes and how those candle closes lead to consolidation or lead to continuation out of consolidation, or they lead to a floor getting reclaimed. And what I want you guys to do tonight, right, is find me those candles that close and lead to continuation, or reverse and close on the floor and lead to continuation. This, I hope, would happen in the most recent price action. Um, you can just stick with tech stocks, SPY, whatever, again, avoid the kind of lower liquidity stuff because it's going to be harder for you to chart. Um, so lost. I'm not used to typing. Yeah, guide him. Neo, what about it? Yep. So what I'd like for you to do tonight is just look for candle closes outside of structure that lead to continuation. Okay, whether that's a floor being reclaimed, it could have happened yesterday, it could have happened this last month. I just want you to find and identify in the most recent price action on higher time frames where candle closes, passing the baton, anything that lead those candle closes that confirm price is going to continue moving in that direction. Okay. Um, what is it, JM? So recapping, right? Rock climbing mentality. We are grabbing floors, grabbing the bottom of boxes, grabbing the bottom of just the first green candle to our left, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. And with batons, right? Because obviously rock climbing in reverse doesn't really work. We're looking for candles submerging themselves down below areas that sellers control. Yeah, Empress, I would rewatch this. I'm sorry you missed most of it, but we kind of repeat. I mean, the first part of this lesson was focused on, are we looking for empty space as well? Well, this is a play that's already happened or is happening. That's not a priority, but it would be preferred. You should be looking, yeah, go ahead and just make sure that it has some empty space that led to that, or maybe it dumped with empty space. When you do your channel, how do I only click once? How do I only click once? I click there. So I click twice. I don't click once. Yeah. You don't know my clicks, right? So click, click, click. No, fast market. If I missed your chart, yeah, no, that's my bad. Yeah, I'll, I'm gonna make sure we're working with everybody who shows up, man. Yeah, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are you at? Oh, damn, you're way up there. My bad. Oh, we did this one, didn't we? Is this you? Yeah, yeah, we did this one. Yeah, no, at your channel, actually, channel looks great. I thought the channel, obviously, you get some weird spaghetti noodles on your chart. I don't know if you just dropped your dinner on there, but yeah, great channels look good, right? I mean, honestly, you could have probably dragged this one back a little bit. Points of contact a little bit rough on that one. I maybe. Yeah, actually, I want you to redo that. I want you to redo that. I want you to start from the low, and I want you to work your way up, kind of aligning it with that. But the structure, identify structure, that looks great. Yeah, you did a great job. This one, yeah, same thing. The only discrepancy is that those candles right here at the bottom, but I no, you did a great job. I'm pretty impressed. There's a couple of you guys who are newer who are kind of nailing them down. So, all right, guys, tomorrow it's gonna get even better. All right, we're gonna go even deeper into some of these concepts and start incorporating more and more tools. If anybody is feeling lost or not feeling like they're caught up, obviously after you watch tonight's class back, feel free to DM me. All right, and we'll see if I can't help you get caught up and on the same page as everybody else. All right, but I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and we'll again probably be down on lower time frames. If you're in the Discord, make sure you show up. Today was a great learning opportunity. Um, you rock, man. So glad my algorithm stumbled on you on YouTube. Hell yeah, man. Me too, dude. I appreciate everybody in here. I appreciate you guys showing up, right? Because nobody's making you do it except for you. So be proud of yourself. But